In 2023, South Korea recorded 1,000 robots for every 10,000 factory workers. That is not a projection or a target. It is the current reality, confirmed by the International Federation of Robotics. No other country on Earth comes close. Singapore sits at around 770. Germany, long seen as the gold standard of industrial automation, is at 429. The global average is around 151. So why has one relatively small country pulled so far ahead of everyone else? And what is happening to the people on the other side of that number? The International Federation of Robotics tracks these figures annually, and Korea has held the top spot for robot density for over a decade. In 2022, Korea installed roughly 31,000 new industrial robots in a single year, placing it consistently among the top 5 countries for total annual robot installations globally. The electronics sector alone, dominated by companies like Samsung and SK Hynix, accounts for a substantial share of that deployment. The automotive sector adds another large layer, with Hyundai and Kia plants among the most automated in the world. Meanwhile, Statistics Korea data shows that manufacturing employment as a share of total employment has been declining steadily since the early 2000s, falling from roughly 27% to under 16% by the early 2020s. These trends are not moving in opposite directions by accident. 3 forces converge to push Korea here. The first is demographic. Korea's working-age population began shrinking in the 2010s, and its birth rate, now the lowest ever recorded for any country, according to Statistics Korea, means that shrinkage will accelerate. Robots became a structural answer to a labor supply problem. The second force is industrial concentration. Korea's economy is built around a handful of enormous export-led conglomerates, the chaebol, whose survival depends on precision, speed, and cost competitiveness in global markets. Those companies had both the capital and the competitive incentive to automate aggressively. The third force is government policy. Korea's Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy has actively subsidized smart factory upgrades through programs targeting small and medium manufacturers, aiming to diffuse automation beyond the top-tier chaebol and into the broader industrial base. All 3 forces pulled in the same direction at the same time. The productivity gains are real. Korea's manufacturing output per worker is among the highest in Asia, according to OECD data, but the distribution of those gains is uneven in ways that are increasingly difficult to ignore. Research from the Korea Labor Institute shows that displaced manufacturing workers, particularly those over 50, face severe re-employment barriers. Many cycle into lower-wage service jobs or exit the workforce entirely. Youth unemployment in manufacturing regions has risen even as national headline unemployment figures remain low because young people are simply not entering those sectors. There is also a geopolitical dimension. Korea's robot supply chain is itself deeply reliant on precision components from Japan and industrial software from Europe, meaning the infrastructure of Korean automation is not entirely Korean. A supply chain disruption, or a trade dispute, could slow the entire system. Korea is not an outlier, it is an accelerant, a preview of pressures that every aging, export-dependent industrial economy will face within the next 2 decades. The Korean case shows that automation does not eliminate work so much as it concentrates work at the edges, highly skilled engineers at one end, precarious service workers at the other. The middle hollows out. The countries watching Korea most closely are not its neighbors. They are Germany, Japan, and parts of the American Midwest, all of which face the same demographic arithmetic and the same corporate logic. The question Korea has not yet answered, and that no country has answered, is how to share the productivity dividend of automation broadly enough that the people who built the system do not end up outside it.